What is Hooke's law? According to Hooke's law, for small deformation, stress is proportional to strain, or stress is equal to constant into strain, and this constant K is called proportionality constant, that is the modulus of elasticity. Hooke's law is an empirical law. This law is found to be valid for most materials. There are some materials which do not exhibit this linear relationship. You can verify Hooke's law from this simple experiment. This is a wire, and the wire is fixed from a support, and you have a pointer fixed to this wire, and this pointer shows you the extension. This pointer will show you the extension of this wire, and this wire is on the other end of this wire is fixed to a pan. This is a pan where you have to put the weight. When you gradually increase this weight, this wire, the length of this wire will increase, and the increase in length can be found out from this scale, and this experiment will give you the relationship between load and extension. You give load in this pan, and you watch the extension from this scale, and you plot a graph taking load along x-axis and this extension along y-axis, and you will see that the load or the stress versus the extension, that is the strain, will be a linear one. It will be a straight line. First we will discuss the stress strain diagram or curve for a metal. You give tensile stress to the metal. The graph shows the stress strain diagram for a metal by applying tensile stress. To know about tensile stress, you have to watch the previous video. So in this graph, you have the region from O to A, and the region from A to B, then from B to D, like this. First we will discuss about the region of this graph from O to A. You see from this graph, the curve is linear, and here Hooke's law is obeyed. From O to A, the graph is linear, where Hooke's law is obeyed. And you see from this graph, from A to B, stress and strain are not proportional, because from A to B it is not linear, so stress and strain are not proportional. But the body will still returns to its original dimension when the load is removed. When you remove the load, the body will return to its original dimension. So we discussed two regions, that is from O to A and from A to B. Now we will discuss at the point B. You see, the point B is called the yield point or the elastic limit. This point B is called the yield point, or it is called the elastic limit, and the corresponding stress at yield point is called yield strength. The corresponding stress here is called the yield strength, and it is denoted by the symbol sigma y. This is sigma y of the material, or yield strength of the material. Now we will discuss the region from B to D. You see the region from B to D. Here if the load is increased beyond yield point, you see, if the load is increased, this is the load. This is the load line, and this is the extension line. So if you increase the load beyond this yield point, then what will happen? Then the strain increases rapidly even for a small change in stress. You see from here to here, there is very small change in stress, but the strain increases rapidly. You see the increase in strain. So you see from the graph from B to D, if you increase the stress very slowly, then or small amount, the strain will increases rapidly. When the load is removed, say at some point C, suppose at here you remove the load, then what will happen? When the load is removed, say at the point C, which is in between B and D, then the body does not regain its original dimension. Here the body will not regain its original dimension. So what will happen when the stress is 0? Here the stress is 0. You have given no stress. Suppose you are giving no stress here. So when the stress is 0, the strain is not 0. You see, the strain is not 0. And the material is said to have a permanent set. This is called permanent set as shown in this figure. And the deformation is said to be plastic deformation. At permanent set, here the deformation is called plastic deformation. So you should remember the region in between B to D. If the load is increased beyond yield point, the strain increases rapidly even for a small change in stress. And when the load is removed, say at some point C between B and D, the body doesn't regain its original dimension. And when the stress is 0, the strain is not 0 and the material is said to have a permanent set, and the deformation is called the plastic deformation. So what is ultimate tensile strength? The point D on the graph is called ultimate tensile strength of the material. You see from this graph, this point D is called ultimate tensile strength, and it is denoted by the symbol sigma mu. Okay, this point D on the graph is called ultimate tensile strength of the material, denoted by sigma mu. Now we will discuss the region from D to E. This region from D to E, beyond ultimate tensile strength, additional strain is produced even by a reduced applied force. If you reduce the applied force is reduced from here to here. But what happens, you see, to the strain? The strain will increase. Beyond this ultimate tensile strength, additional strain is produced even by a reduced applied force. This is the additional strain. And fracture occurs at point E. You see, at the point E, that is called the fracture point. So here fracture occur. So beyond ultimate tensile strength, additional strain is produced even by a reduced applied force, which is called the fracture point. Fracture occurs at the point E. Remember, at the point E, fracture occur. Then what is brittle? If the ultimate tensile strength and fracture points D and E are close, the material is said to be brittle. So for material which are brittle, D and E are very close. Then what is ductile? If fracture points D and E are far apart, the material is said to be ductile. So for ductile material, D and E are far apart, and for brittle material, D and E are very close points. Now we'll discuss stress strain curve for rubber. Rubber can be pulled to several times its original length and still returns to its original shape. You have seen that if you pull a rubber to several times, then its original length will increases several times. Its change in length will be more. Its change in length will be more than the original length, but the rubber will return to its original shape after withdrawing the deforming force. You see, this is the load extension curve for rubber. Here in x-axis you have extension and in y-axis you have stress or force. And you see, here you cannot prove Hooke's law. Hooke's law is not obeyed for rubber because the extension force and extension graph in case of rubber is not linear. So you cannot apply Hooke's law for rubber. Now we will discuss the stress strain curve for the elastic tissue of aorta present in the heart. Aorta is the large tube or vessel carrying blood from the heart. You see, this is the stress strain curve for aorta, and the elastic region is very large. If you watch the stress strain curve, you can see that the elastic region is very large and the material does not obey Hooke's law. Over most of the region, the material does not obey Hooke's law, and there is no well defined plastic region also in this stress strain graph. So you should remember that you cannot apply Hooke's law for every substance. Like in rubber, you cannot apply Hooke's law, or in the elastic tissue of aorta, you also cannot apply Hooke's law. So substances like tissue of aorta, rubber, etc., which can be stressed to cause large strains, are called elastomers. So elastomers are the substances where you cannot apply Hooke's law. So in this video we discussed about stress strain and stress strain diagrams or physics for metals and rubber, and we discussed about tissue of aorta. In the next video we will discuss about elastic moduli or modulus of elasticity. Thank you.